Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 123, and my special guest, Justin Tracy, our Chief Technology Officer for Vesuvius Holdings and JPAR. Justin, how are you?
I'm good. It's a very nice day out here in New York.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you being on the show and sharing with the audience a little bit about your success. Now, you're a serial entrepreneur. I mean, I know you love racing and NASCAR and that kind of stuff, but in business, tell us a little bit about your history and your success leading you up to becoming our CTO.
Sure. Yeah, while I was still in college, I actually founded my first software as a service company called Realty Generator. It was one of the first real estate CRMs that really existed out there. We kind of ended up being perfect timing between Google pay-per-click just first coming out and IDX data first being available to be used on websites. And that kind of happened almost at the same time, the same month. And we kind of took that and ran. We became one of the first companies to ever do pay-per-click advertising and automate that into agent follow-up and automation. I ended up selling that company in 2007 to what ended up becoming Truly and Zillow. So that was my first endeavor. And then
had you graduated from college yet by the time you sold it?
No, I pulled a Zuck and jumped ship.
There you go.
Two credits short of a computer science degree. So yeah, no degree. Mom wasn't too happy, but she got over it.
Yeah, but all of the, if you look at all of the great success stories, they all have that same kind of history. So you started that, and then you went on to do a number of other very successful ventures.
Yeah. I started my first company, and then everything kind of tanked in 2007, and we figured we should get back into it. And after my first non-compete, we started Conversion, which was the second company that I built from the ground up, and that eventually got bought by a company that merged into what is now KV4, which is the system that JPAR uses for their CRM.
Right, and that platform has really become one of the leading, in my opinion, the best total system in the industry.
Yeah, they are pretty much the premier enterprise solution for real estate CRM that exists in the U.S. So it's pretty cool to see it get that big.
So does creating businesses and adding value and creating things entrepreneurial, does that just come naturally to you, or are you a natural problem solver and you say, here's a problem and I'm going to create a solution, or did you have to learn that?
I think I was gifted with the ability to combine things and see the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. In school, all my friends were, super big computer nerds, but I was the one that was able to see a business use case and be able to understand how you could take things off the shelf and use technology in a way that would actually have an end result of a business working and people making money and an entity functioning and forming. Everybody else kind of just did stuff because it was cool or because they wanted to do a geeky thing. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had that spark, which I think enabled me to do what I did.
Yeah. So it's just one of your natural gifts, because what I love about you is for you, and it's not about the coolness and look what it'll do. It's how it can be applied to solve a problem, how it can be applied to help someone create value for a customer. And that's what I always love and respect about you. It's about the result versus the means necessarily.
Yeah, now a lot of people try to do things the right way. There's the Harvard School of Programming and there's the Jersey School of Programming. Right. I tend to go to the New Jersey School of Programming. Get it out, get it quick, get it done, iterate through it, and see if it works.
Yeah.
But it's worked well.
Yeah. Well, your success can translate to, most of our audience that's listening today are real estate professionals, mortgage professionals that are either solo agents or running small, medium, or large teams. Yep. Much of what you do and the success you have is translatable to them. So if you were speaking to the audience today about one or two things that you would advise them to do to build their business, talk to us. What would they be?
The biggest stuff is delegation. From the beginning, I always knew I wasn't the best at anything I did. I was just good at a lot of things. And agents tend to be the same way because they run their own businesses. You need to know how everything kind of works, but you're not going to be, LeBron James in every single thing. It's just not possible. So you need to know when you need to tap out and find somebody that's better than you to do that point, so that you can free up more time to always be looking down at 30,000 feet and understanding, the top level stuff and making sure that the ship is moving forward instead of getting kind of ground down in the minutia. A lot of people kind of fail at that point because they want to control everything. And it's a hard thing to get over, but it really is how you scale and how you become much bigger than what you think you can do.
Yeah, for sure. And you and I think so much alike. I have an acronym called PLAN, which is their job description. So we automate, delegate, and eliminate, as much as we can, right? Automate, which you're an expert at. Delegating is also part of that. Or eliminating, some things we just don't need to do. But then we give them, Justin, I give them the PLAN, which is prospecting, lead follow-up, appointment setting, and negotiating. Mm-hmm. And if we focus on those things and we automate, delegate, and eliminate the rest, we have successful businesses. So I see a lot of that in you, in the business you've run. You're very focused.
Yeah, you tend to have a little bit of that OCD, super hyper focused to get to the end goal.
Right.
But it's also kind of at a dichotomy with the fact that it does need to be delegated. So you need to stay super laser focused on the end goal of what could be achieved. I mean, currently right now, I'm literally starting 5 software as a service new companies from the ground up, and they're all different. One of them's like a postcard company. One of them's a sales enablement tool. One of them's the new boss for JPAR. So there is so much stuff going on that is so different, but you need to constantly be able to look at the really high level and understand all the pieces that come together to make them function. So.
Yeah. So if you were advising some agents who were looking at saying, Mark, there's just, and Justin, there's so much technology, there's so many things, I can't keep up with it all. How would you coach them to stay focused and relevant?
That's a really tough thing. Real estate agents have always been known for shiny object syndrome, and it's the same way in the tech field. There's always some new startup or something promising the world, and letting you offshore this part of your life. It's tough, but what I would make sure is that every single thing that you want to test or that you think is good, don't necessarily be the guinea pig, but test it, use it, ask for your referrals, show somebody else that has had success with it. But I think it's really important that you give those types of things a shot, because the startups, the scrappy guys that are just kind of hitting the market tend to have some pretty cool stuff going on. I've always looked at Inman, the New Kids on the Block, as like the premier place to find these guys. So if you're ever looking for like the newest, coolest thing out there, that Inman New Kids on the Block list every year tends to kind of focus on the best of the best when it comes to what could be coming out.
Well, speaking of that, as you look into the future, everyone's talking about AI. Everyone's talking about what the future is going to look like. As you look at the future, what's got your attention?
Oh, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more in the transaction automation when it comes to truly being paperless. I mean, right now, I come from a lawyer state where nothing is paperless. Everything's still wet signatures on everything. There's lawyers involved in every step. It's almost pointless to have DocuSign because none of it's valid. I would love for a state like New York and New Jersey to have more of this automation, and it needs to start at the legal political level. I understand, but we need to have nationwide standards for transaction processing, transaction storage. Maybe that's in some type of blockchain thing. I don't know. That's might be getting way ahead of ourselves, but
right.
It's still really cool to have a national format for a real estate transaction. that is pushed all the way through from the initial point all the way through closing, where it's just simple. And that's one of the hardest parts right now with making the real estate transaction difficult. But again, that's kind of why we exist as agents. But I think there's something to be done there when it comes to making this a lot more palatable by the average Joe, to make a real estate transaction be like kind of like a car transaction now. It's just quick and easy and done.
Yeah, I would agree with you. We have a lot to do in the industry to make it more efficient. There's a lot of waste in the processes that takes the agent away from the value added that they provide to the consumer. Well, Justin, as we wrap up this episode, I am so honored that you've joined us, and we're blessed to have the level of talent to bring JPAR's technology to the next level. So first, I want to thank you for that, and thank you for joining us today.
Of course, I'm excited. There's so much stuff we have on schedule in the next 6 to 12 months at JPAR. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming out the door, which I hope you guys are able to take advantage of.
Yeah, well, we'll have you back on a couple more times, and we'll be doing a lot of talking about all the cool stuff getting ready to come out. So with that, appreciate your time. Make it a powerful day, and we'll see you soon on another episode of Success Superstars.